I really love how I'm always picking the best time of day to do a video. If I keep my head right here, then you won't get the weird light thing. I wanted to talk about tiny houses because a lot of people think that my house is big. And I think it's because they have this like preconceived notion of like a tiny house, and they can be very, very small. So my house is big for a tiny house. So a tiny house has to be under 400 square feet, and my house is just under 400 square feet. So it may appear to be like larger than what you envision as a tiny house because maybe you've seen the show or you follow other people and they have like a 200 square foot tiny house, which would be really a lot smaller than mine. But I also think that my house is sort of misleading in pictures. And because when I saw it the first time, I also thought like, wow, that looks really big, even though I knew the square footage and I knew it wasn't. And this was confirmed to me by a recent visit by my friend Amanda, who walked into my house and said, oh, it's a lot smaller than it looks in pictures. And I'm like, yeah, it's literally tiny. So that's sort of just something that I wanted to talk about, was like a tiny house can mean a lot of things. So it could mean 100 square feet, or it could mean like 399 square feet. Like it's just under 400 square feet. And there also are like width and height requirements. So some like large RVs with the slide outs on the sides could be actually like a lot wider than my house is. And then there's different kinds of tiny houses. Like there's a THO, which is a tiny house on wheels. And that's a tiny house that can be like used as like a fifth wheel RV sort of, but it's actually a tiny house. All tiny houses are on wheels, technically. Like there are wheels on my house, but I have skirting on the side, so you can't see them. But if you were going to move my house, you would have to move it with like a sort of like a semi-truck front and then a slide. So I can add the video in here. We've had houses delivered here, and I'll add a video here of Pam's house getting delivered, so you can see what I mean by like the kind of truck that delivers it. Whereas like the fifth wheel one could be kind of like hitched like a normal RV would onto the back of a pickup truck or something. So that also makes a difference. Like the kind of tiny house could be one that's actually meant to be moved quite often. Like it's going to come with you, you're going to travel with it. Or one like mine, it's meant to be kind of put somewhere and left there. Like, could it be moved? Yeah, absolutely. But also it's here. They've built a deck off of the back, so you kind of built up the land around it. So it's not like you can't move it. You certainly can, but it's more that like you wouldn't be moving it all the time. So like the really smaller ones sometimes are meant to be more like that. Or I think quite often the much smaller ones are usually like Airbnbs or like more of a rental thing. I mean, not that people don't live in them. I actually know someone who lives with her husband in 190 square feet, which is crazy, to be honest with you. But they are actually building a much bigger outdoor space and doing some other things. So what I've realized living here is that I could probably go smaller. Like I hesitate to say that it feels big here to me. I moved here from a 3,000 square foot house. So it was a very large home, but I also didn't really spend time in a large portion of that house. Like there were rooms in my house that I just really never went in. So I wasn't living in the whole house anyways. I was living in like select rooms. My bedroom was bigger than this entire house because it was like a master suite with a huge bathroom. So the bedroom, like sleeping in a really small bedroom has been kind of like an adjustment, I guess you could say, because I was used to sleeping in this just like really large room. But as far as like space goes, I still think that I have more things than I need. And I think that I could go smaller. I mean, not that I'm moving anytime soon. I just think like in the future, when I try to figure out what's next, I almost think like, yeah, I could probably live in a smaller space than this and be fine. But I do think this is a very comfortable size place. Like I like the way that it's laid out. I like that I have really a pretty big living room / office, especially because I work a lot from home. And so it's nice to not feel like I'm here a lot. So it's nice to not feel like it's super, like, I don't feel like the walls are coming on me or I don't have space. And then having like the bedroom downstairs is really nice because of the dogs. And that's something that's really hard to find in a tiny house. Quite often, the loft, which I have a loft, but my loft isn't my bedroom. My loft is, it could be, like I totally could be. But that's not what I'm using it as. I'm using it more like storage or, yeah, like sometimes I go up there to meditate just to kind of like be away. But mostly I do have a lot of floor space up there, but it's mostly storage. You could fit a twin size air mattress up there currently with the stuff that I have sort of along the walls. If the whole floor was empty, you could probably fit a queen size bed up there. Low, like it'd have to be the kind of bed I'm sleeping on. The ceiling is not very high. In some lofts, the ceiling is much higher than that. It's very low. I would hesitate to say a regular mattress could be too thick. You could lay down, but it would be weird, I think. Like having like the thin air mattress up there, like a small twin air mattress seems to work pretty well. Amanda did sleep up there one night, but it's a little warm up there too. So anyways, I'm rambling. The point being, I'm not using my loft as a bedroom. I have a bedroom downstairs, and that was a big deal for me with dogs. I have senior dogs. I have little dogs. I wouldn't want them going up and down steps. Even if there was actual steps, like some tiny houses have actual steps, like Pam, her house has actual steps in it. It's not a ladder like mine. Her bedroom is upstairs, but it's still steps. And like my dogs, I don't want them to go up and down steps because some of them can't. So I really wanted a downstairs like floor, like lower level bedroom, and that's rare in a tiny house. So I think to go smaller, you would have to go into like a loft situation. Yeah, so I just want to kind of clear up like what is a tiny house and like how big is my house and why does it look so big in pictures. It's got a really great layout. It was built by a custom home builder who builds regular homes, and you can really see that in the way that it's designed. It's just got a nice flow to it, a nice layout, and yeah, maybe that's why it seems bigger, but if you come visit me, you'll see that it is very tiny. So yeah, I'd love to know any other questions you have. I want to show you guys sort of like how I use my bedroom. So I'll have to make a video. I don't leave my bed out. Like I take it away during the day so that I can use that room for teaching yoga and working out and just feeling like there's more space. So I'll definitely show you that. I need to reorganize my closet in the hallway. It's sort of like my only closet. Not besides my clothes have closets, but it's my only like storage closet. And when I was moving in, it became sort of like this, just like throw everything in the closet. And now I'm like, ugh, this could be so much better. So potentially I'll make a video reorganizing that too. And yeah, but I just wanted to share sort of like, why does your house look so big? And maybe it's because you think that tiny houses are 200 square feet only, and there's just a lot of variation in them. So I'm not an expert by any means, but yeah, wanted to share with you. So hope you're having an amazing day. Talk soon.